Switzerland bring the ball in now to centre pivot, where it continues to the left-hand side. The shot comes in high, picked up by Jack Buck and sent to the opposite corner. The ball switched across there and shot, but the shot is way short, giving a point to the Swiss. Okay, the ball comes in for GB, who continue it on its path to the right-hand side. It's optioned, but the option comes in short and sent out to Martin Cates, who does his best with the stepping, but landing called. Swiss take the ball now and send it into the centre pivot, who continues it on his path to the left-hand side. Quick switch comes in, and Alexandre Dubois shoots and scores easily against the moving GB defence. So GB send a long ball right the way up to Martin Cates on the right-hand side. Ball switched across and switched back to the right-hand side, where the shot comes in, easily picked up by the Swiss front defence, and the ball is then controlled, passed to the pivot, where it's sent back to the Swiss right-hand shooter, who shoots. The ball is picked up front line, but goes dead third line. Point scored to the Swiss. So GB bring the ball in now from the back. They send it on its way to the left-hand side. The shot comes in, but is easily picked up by Swiss front line. They take their time, sending the ball on to Laurent Ludy, who switches the ball across, and the ball is shot by Lionel Sandre. The ball is secured second line for GB, who play to the opposite end. A quick switch comes in from the left-hand side, and Jack Buck shoots, but frame ball called. A let out for the Swiss there. So Switzerland start with the ball from a breakdown, send it to the centre pivot to the left-hand side, where it's flipped across to the right-hand side. The shot comes in, but landing called on Swiss Laurent Ludy. Martin Cates takes the ball for GB and sends the ball on its way to the opposite end, where the ball is flipped over to the left-hand side. 4 passes there from GB, giving possession straight back to the Swiss. Right, so the Swiss take the breakdown quickly, send a bullet pass up the other end, quick switch across, and the left-hand shot comes in, but landing called on number 23, Lionel Sandre. And the ball's flipped out by GB on the breakdown to the centre pivot, who returns it to the same end right-hand side, and a shot past 90 degrees comes in from Martin Cates there. The Swiss can't stretch that far, but they bring the ball in quickly, so it's back up the other end. Left-hand side returns it to centre pivot on an option, who returns it to the right-hand side, and Alexandre Dubois shoots and scores. Referee happy and convinced that was a point. GB not so sure. Ball comes in now to Gary Bond for GB, who returns to the same end. The ball switched across and shot by Richard Gosling, who picks the ball is picked up by front line and caught. Last pass used now. Have to shoot. They shoot high and hits Stu Blakemore in the chest. The ball pops free and goes to ground. Point to the Swiss. So GB bring the ball in now, centre pivot, and it's returned to the same end, where Martin Cates tries an ambitious slip shot, but caught front line by Switzerland defence, who swap the ends of play. The ball is shot and caught, but Richard Gosling lands on the shot and gives possession back to the Swiss. The Swiss swap the ends, bullet passes again, very quick play. They quickly switch, and Laurent Ludy shoots and splits the GB defence. GB bring the ball in now through the centre pivot to the left-hand side. An aerial switch is attempted, and Jack Buck shoots, and a rebound shot just falls inside the D. Technically a Swiss short, gives a point to GB. Switzerland bring the ball in now through the centre pivot, and the ball is shot quickly by the right-hand sider, who shoots. The ball's caught on the left-hand side, returned by the GB, and point scored. Oh no, frame ball called. The Swiss start with the ball in the centre of one end, return the ball through the centre pivot to the left-hand side, and the shot by Thibaut Coulard is deemed to be frame by the end referee. GB take the ball, switch quickly, switch back to the right-hand side, and the ball is shot in, popped up very high by Swiss front line. 1 pass used, that's the second pass to the left-hand sider, and the ball comes in high and hard, and GB can't get hold of that. Lionel Sandre punishing GB front line there. GB bring the ball in from the back now to centre pivot, who returns it down to Martin Cates on the right-hand side. Quick switch across to Anderson Ledger, who shoots wide and low, and Swiss defence can't get to that. Point score GB. Swiss bring the ball in now to the left-hand side at the other end. The ball's flipped back to centre pivot where it comes out to Laurent Ludi, but overthrown. GB get a breakdown on the baseline. And Stu Blakemore takes the ball from the breakdown. In it comes to centre pivot. It continues on its way after some acrobatics by Gary Bond, and then switched at the end. Shot by Jack Buck, but the Swiss front line can't get a hold of the bouncing ball. And the ball pops free, point score to GB. Switzerland bring the ball in from the back now. Centre pivot where it continues on its way to the left-hand side. Switched very aerobatically to the right-hand side and then diagonally thrown to the opposite end. Alexandre Dubois shoots and it's held by Richard Gosling. Stu Blakemore goes for a high shot but deemed to travel by the end referee. Time called because of damp on the pitch. So Simon Bergap takes the ball now and sends the ball to centre pivot. Centre pivot sends it on its way to the right-hand side where the ball is switched and shot hard and low by Lionel Andre. Point scored. Right, Stu Blakemore sends the ball in and it comes through centre pivot to the left-hand side. The ball is shot and caught cleanly second line. The ball coming out too high there. Swiss change the end of the play where the ball is caught by Stu Blakemore on a right-hand shot. The passes come in and landing called on Martin Cates when he's shooting out of position. Switzerland catch the ball and a quick shot comes in, but landing again called on Martin Cates on the return shot. Michael Rabotot brings the ball down to the opposite end now where the ball is quick switched and a shot comes in but foot on line called on Thibault Coulon. GB start with the ball on the left hand side corner and casually switch across where the ball spun back and then opposite ends to Martin Cates where the ball is shot from the right hand side, popped up by Swiss defence but landing again called on GB Martin Cates. Michael Rabotot brings the ball up to the opposite end centre and the ball's flipped out to the left hand side, an aerial throw back down to the right hand side and Laurent Ludi attempts a shot which pops out of the hands of frontline defence and point scored to the Swiss. And GB bring the ball in from the back now after a quick change and ball comes to Jack Buck on the right hand side but option back to the opposite end right hand side. The shot comes in and is caught cleanly front line by the Swiss. They send the ball to the opposite end but returns to the same end where a quick switch comes in and landing called on number 23 Lionel Sondre. GB take the ball and Liv Davis sends the ball down to the centre pivot. Centre pivot down to left hand side where the shot comes in but is caught cleanly by Thibault Coulon. Centre pivot returns the ball to the same end it was shot and the shot from Alexandre Dubois is called landing. So GB take their time now taking the breakdown and send the ball across the D to Richard Gosling who sends it into the centre pivot but continues on its way now to Martin Cates. Martin Cates shoots high but it's caught cleanly by Michael Rabotot who sends the ball to the opposite end and the shot from the right hand Swiss is caught by GB. The return shot by Richard Gosling splits the two front line and point scored. So Switzerland bring the ball in now but not enough time to complete the play. End of the first third. Switzerland are leading by 18 points to 11.